What if fairies really existed? In this video, we'll look at different versions of how they might live. Let's start with the mystical one. After all, in ancient times, fairies weren't like, the cartoonish Bloom, Stella, and so on. In Irish and Scottish myths, they were called the Ancient People, a highly developed race that went underground when humans took over the surface. Of course, they weren't considered gods, but you couldn't really call them ordinary mortals either. They lived longer, were intelligent, but also vengeful and rather reclusive. Maybe that's for the best. And if we look at it from a scientific point of view, back in 2003 on the island of Flores in Indonesia, archaeologists discovered the remains of tiny people only about 1 meter tall, with brains smaller than those of chimpanzees but clearly possessing developed consciousness. They were nicknamed hobbits. By the way, it's amazing, but it's possible that they actually lived at the same time as us, and there are even rumors that maybe, on some isolated islands, there are still populations left, tiny populations. Also, fairies could have been a rare form of life. For example, in European folklore, fairies were described as glowing orbs that fly through the forest. These lights lead travelers astray and make them lose their way, and sometimes even cause them to disappear. They were called magic sparks, forest candles, and dancing spirits. In many cultures, it is said, if you follow such a light, there's no guarantee you'll be able to return. Or perhaps, could fairies have existed as beings from parallel universes?